Hello, hello! It's Christina from the Glaser Tutoring Company, and today we're going to be solving a system of equations by substitution. But this time, it's going to be with some fractions. Oh no! But we got this, and you definitely got this, right? After this, if we do all the steps, you guys will be substitution masters. So let's go for it, right? We want to solve this system of equations. Now, a system of equations is basically when they group together two or more equations and they maybe have some type of interaction with each other. So by having two equations here, bada bing, bada boom, here is the system. Now, the question is to not identify what the system is, but to solve it. And if we're solving for it, that means that we're just picking up a point. And exactly a point, right? A point has an x and a y coordinate that they share together. So we're looking for some commonality here. Now I know that these are linear lines because I just have the x and the y. There's no like x squared, no x cubed, or y squared, y cubed. So these are linear lines. And if I just draw linear lines and they're part of a system of equations, x marks the spot. The solution is that one point that they have in common. So that's exactly what we're trying to solve for here. But we got to do it the substitution method. So what is the what's the substitution method? What is the substitution method? Well, the first thing is that since we have two equations, we got 1 and 2, we have to either solve one of them for x equals or y equals. Now, at this stage of the game, it does not matter which one you choose. You will get the same answer if you make sure that your PEMDAS rules are on point, your algebra rules are on point, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. You'll get the same point at the end if these are a system of equations. Now, in this case, I always like to look for something that just has a 1x or a 1y in front of it. That's really easy to isolate just by x and y. But for all of these, I got fractions in front of all of them. So, yeah, I can't really do that. But maybe, I'm just going to go for it and pick one that looks easiest to me. Now, maybe, I got a fourth, 3 over 2 and an 11. The numbers aren't really that good. I got, an eighth, a third, and a 3. This might work out better. And I don't really like to work with negative numbers, so I'm going for this y. I'm going to solve for y equals on the second equation. Now, if you wanted to choose one of the other three, go for it. Use the same steps with your problem that you got in front of you, and if it's the same one, but just done two different ways, at the end of the day, we still should get the same answer. So I'm going to take equation 2, and I'm going to solve for the y equals. So let's go. We got negative, I guess I'll write it a little bit up top here. We got negative 1/8 x plus 1/3 y, and this equals 3. Okay, so if we want to solve for the y, we got to shimmy on the x on over. It's a negative 1/8, so I'm just going to have to add plus 1/8 x on both sides. That's going to get rid of this, say goodbye, and we'll put a line here, and now I got 1/3 y equals 3 plus 1/8 x. Now I want to solve for that y, which means that I want to get rid of the 1/3. So undo what is being done, right? You're timesing by 1/3, so we just times by the reciprocal. What is the reciprocal of 1 over 3? Yeah, 3 over 1. It's just a 3. And you do that on both sides, but now you have to make sure that you times the whole equation by 3. So just be careful. There's a little bit of some distributing going on here, right? You got to distribute to the 3 and to the 1 over 8. So we got this cancels. And now we got y equals 3 times 3 is 9. And now 1 over 8 times 3 is just 3 over 8. And that's going to be the x. Okay, we got the parts. Y equals 9 plus 3 over 8x. All right, first part done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use this information and plug it into the other equation. You can't take this information and plug it into the same equation that you just did. The units are going to cancel out. So instead, since we used equation 2, I'm shooting in and going right in for equation 1. So I'm just going to write that out. Equation 1 was negative 1/4 x plus 3 over 2, y equals 11. We solve for y equals. So find the y. Here's the y. So this is where your substitution comes in. You're substituting out the y for what we just solved for. And that way, we don't have two separate variables, we'll just have one. So in comes the 9 plus 3 over 8x. So let's go for it. Negative 1/4, maybe I'll put that over there, negative 1/4 x plus 3 over 2. You just got to be careful because it's being times by the whole thing. The whole thing is 9 plus 3 over 8x. And then just keep going with the formula. We're now over here. This is all going to equal 11. So this part we don't write. Well, we don't do anything with. Negative 1 over 4x plus, now let's distribute, right? So 3 over 2 times 9. I can't, simplify 2 with 9. So 3 times 9 is 27. This would be 27 over 2 plus, can't do anything with the 2's and 3's, can't do anything with the 3's and the 8's. So what is this? 3 times 3 is 9. 9 over 2 times 8 is 16, and that's an x. And this all equals 11. Now let's combine like terms. So we got a 9 over 16x minus 1/4. So this is the same thing as saying 16, what is this? This is the same thing as saying if I times this by 4, I got to times this by 4. So this would be 4 over 16. So 9 minus 4 is 5 over 16x. And if you need to, you could always plug it in, right? 9 divided by 16 minus 1 divided by 4, because it's a negative. Enter. And now if you want to turn this into a fraction, you go to math. Number 1 is turning it into a fraction, so press enter. And there you go, 5/16. So that's where we go with that. And then plus 27 over 2 equals 11. Okay. We are on our way. So in this case, now we want to get, the x by itself. So we're going to subtract 27 over 2 minus 27 over 2. This part will cancel. We have now, maybe I could put it over here, 5 over 16 x equals, what is 11 minus 27 over 2? 11, if we had it over 2, 11 times 2 is 22. So it would be the same thing as 22 over 2 minus 27. 22 minus, so this is a negative 5. Negative 5 over 2. Negative 5 over 2. And now, actually I can put this over here, because we just want to get x by itself. So just times by the reciprocal. Instead of timesing by 5 over 16, we're going to times by 16 over 5 on both sides. 16 over 5. And this cancels. And now we just have one x value. So in this case, we have x equals 5 and 5's cancel out, 2's and 16's, the 1 and an 8. So this is actually just a negative 8. How cool is that? Okay, half of the piece of the puzzle done. So maybe what I'll do is I'll move this over here and I'll pull this over a little bit. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. I did it again. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now we know half of the piece. We know that the x value is going to be a -8. Now in this case, we need to solve for the y value. But now we have that piece of information. We know that the x is a -8. So now it's up to you. Whichever equation you want, whichever one looks easiest to you. Maybe, maybe because I have an 8 in the x, I have a 8 in the denominator, in the denominator for x. Let's go with equation 2. Maybe I'll say that up here. Equation 2. So it's going to be -1/8 times by the x value that we just got, which was a -8. And then plus 1/3 y equals 3. Negative times a negative is a positive, and 8 divided by 8 is 1. So this would be just a 1 plus 1/3 y equals 3. Subtract 1 on both sides. This cancels out. You're left with 1/3 y equals 3 minus 1 is 2. And now do the same thing, right? If y is being times by 1/3, just undo it. 3/1, which is times by 3. So you got to do that on both sides. Get rid of that. And now you have y equals 2 times 3 is 6. And there is your y component. So there is a solution here. And the point, the y we know now, is 6. So the point in which they cross paths is -8, 6. And that is the end of the video. That's it, guys. What do you think? I hope this helped. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for viewing the video. Subscribe, like the video, tell your friends, tell your classmates. Any type of support helps the channel out, and we just want to, put the word out there that this channel exists so that everybody from all over the world can, get help, with their classes. We got physics, we got chem videos, obviously we have math videos. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day. All right. Keep studying hard. I believe in you. Good luck on those tests and quizzes, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.